All right, listener. So you're getting ready for a microelectronics smart manufacturing engineer interview, huh? That's awesome. We're going to take a deep dive into this role and how to absolutely crush it in your interview.
Think of this like your personal coaching session.
Yeah, using RoleCatcher's career and interview guides specifically for this role.
We'll break down not just what they'll ask you,
But like what they're really trying to figure out.
and how to make your answers stand out.
Okay, so what's so cool about this job?
Well, what I think is fascinating is just how much this role does.
Yeah,
It's not just about teeny tiny circuits, right?
right.
We're talking being on the cutting edge of Industry 4.0,
Yeah,
shaping how things are made in like every industry you can imagine.
it is pretty amazing.
Smartphones, cars, you name it.
Yeah,
It's a field that's in super high demand. The pay is great, but it also requires like serious technical skills.
yeah, you got to know your stuff.
Yeah, and a constant drive to keep learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we got to make sure you shine in that interview.
Mm.
Let's jump right into it.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's sample questions.
All right.
The first one is, what motivated you to pursue a career in microelectronics smart manufacturing engineering?
Oh.
Now, that seems like a pretty straightforward question.
Yeah.
But what's the interviewer really trying to figure out here?
It's all about, are you genuinely passionate about this?
Okay.
They don't just want someone who can like do the tasks right.
Right.
They want someone who's excited about this field.
Uh-huh.
So think about it. Why did you choose this path?
Yeah.
Was it a specific project that got you hooked? Were you just fascinated with how things work? Or maybe the idea of working with like cutting edge technology, that's what drew you in?
So RoleCatcher suggests weaving in personal stories here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not enough to just say, it seemed like a good job.
Right.
What kind of story would really resonate with the interviewer?
Okay, think back to what first sparked your interest in this.
Okay.
Was it taking apart a gadget as a kid and like being amazed at all the little pieces? Yeah. Or maybe you were blown away by a documentary on how they make computer chips. Or maybe even a university project, something that really pushed you,
Yeah.
and connect your passion to Industry 4.0,
Okay.
like how AI is transforming manufacturing. That shows you're thinking ahead.
Yeah. And this is where I think RoleCatcher's AI can really help you out.
For sure.
Can you imagine having a tool that analyzes the job description, tells you what skills to really emphasize?
Yeah.
It's like a custom-tailored roadmap just for your interview.
Yeah, it's amazing. It helps you zero in on those keywords, weave them into your answers authentically.
Okay.
Not just listing skills, but actually showcasing them through your experiences.
Right. Okay, let's move on to the second question. What experience do you have with microelectronics manufacturing processes? This one feels like it's all about proving you've got the technical skills.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is your chance to really showcase that hands-on knowledge that you have. Talk about the specific equipment, software, processes you've worked with.
Okay.
Have you implemented any process improvements or like tackled those really tough production issues?
Yeah.
And wherever you can, try to quantify your achievements.
Oh, okay.
So did you improve yield? Did you reduce defects?
Okay.
By how much?
So instead of saying I was responsible for quality control, I could describe a specific time when I spotted a flaw that could have been a major problem
Exactly.
and how I fixed it.
Exactly. And maybe
Right.
even mention like the percentage improvement you
Oh,
achieved.
wow, yeah.
Because stories, they really stick with people.
Yeah.
Facts, they kind of fade away.
Right.
It's like the difference between reading a textbook and watching a documentary, right?
Yeah.
You want them to remember you.
Okay. Let's tackle question 3. How do you stay up to date with the latest technologies and trends in microelectronics smart manufacturing? This feels like a tough one.
Yeah.
This field changes so fast. How do you even keep up?
They want to know, are you committed to continuous learning?
Okay.
Just reading old textbooks isn't going to cut it here.
Right.
Highlight things that show you're proactive.
Mm-hmm.
Industry publications, blogs, conferences, workshops,
Right.
even following thought leaders on social media.
Uh-huh.
Be specific about what you do.
What if I haven't been to any big conferences yet?
That's okay. There are other ways.
Okay.
Online courses, webinars,
Yeah.
even just actively participating in online communities that are focused on microelectronics manufacturing, that all shows dedication.
It's all about showing that you're taking the initiative.
Right.
Okay. Now, question 4 asks, how do you ensure quality control in microelectronics manufacturing processes? And this one seems critical,
Yeah, it is.
given how precise everything has to be.
It's super important. Even the tiniest defect can have huge consequences.
Right.
So don't just give them like a textbook definition of quality control.
Okay.
Talk about the specific methodologies that you've actually used. Statistical process control, root cause analysis, anything that highlights your practical experience and those problem-solving skills.
Okay.
And again, a good story that always goes a long way.
So maybe instead of like listing the methods, I could describe a time when I used root cause analysis to find the source of a recurring defect.
Exactly.
And then the steps I took to solve it permanently.
Perfect. That's what they want to hear. You're showing them that you don't just understand it, you've lived it.
Okay. Question 5. Shift gears a bit. How do you manage cross-functional teams in a microelectronics manufacturing environment? Is this about like leadership and communication skills?
Spot on.
Okay.
Microelectronics manufacturing involves a lot of different teams. Design, production, quality assurance.
It's complex.
It's complex. It needs someone who can like conduct the orchestra, not just play an instrument.
Okay.
So emphasize your ability to build relationships, communicate clearly, and motivate teams to work towards shared goals.
So it's not about just telling people what to do.
No.
It's about getting everyone on the same page.
Exactly. Think about a really successful cross-functional project that you led.
Yeah.
What were the challenges you faced? How did you use teamwork to overcome them? And even if you haven't officially led a team yet,
Right.
talk about times you've collaborated effectively and contributed to the success of the team.
Question 6 asks, how do you ensure compliance with industry regulations and standards in microelectronics manufacturing? Oh, tons, from safety protocols to environmental regulations.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But that's why this question is important.
Okay.
They want to see that you're aware of these regulations and that you're actually committed to following them. Don't just throw around acronyms.
Right.
Pick a specific regulation that's relevant to your experience and tell them how you've actually put it into practice.
Okay.
So, for example, you could talk about making sure a product meets RoHS compliance standards,
Yeah.
which restricts the use of certain hazardous substances. So it's better to showcase my knowledge through concrete actions.
Exactly. Rather than just saying, I follow the rule.
Right, okay.
They want to see that you're not just aware of them, but you're actively integrating them into your work.
All right, let's wrap up this section with question 7. How do you approach problem solving in a microelectronics manufacturing environment?
This feels pretty broad. What are they really getting at here?
It's about your thought process.
Okay.
They want to see that you can tackle complex challenges
Yeah.
in a systematic way.
Right.
So describe your problem-solving methodology.
Okay.
Do you start by gathering data?
Yeah.
Do you break down big problems into smaller, more manageable parts? Do you involve other people in brainstorming solutions?
Okay.
Then bring it to life with a specific example. What was the problem? How'd you analyze it? And what was the solution you came up with?
So it's about showing them that I have a structured way of solving problems.
Exactly.
Not just, winging it. You want to demonstrate that you can think critically and strategically, which is crucial in a role like this.
Before we dive into the remaining questions, I want to highlight how RoleCatcher can really give you a leg up here.
Yeah.
Their AI analyzes the job description, ADD. It gives you feedback on your interview answers.
It's true. It's like having a personal coach
Right.
who knows exactly what these employers are looking for.
Wow.
It points out what you're doing well
Okay.
and suggests areas where you can improve.
So it might suggest I add more specific examples.
Yeah.
Tailor my language to the job description. Or even like adjust my tone to sound more confident.
Exactly. It's all about presenting the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher really helps you do that.
And let's take a look at the rest of those questions.
Okay, so question 8 is, how do you ensure the safety of workers in a microelectronics manufacturing environment?
Okay.
This is a big one.
Yeah.
We're dealing with potentially hazardous materials, complex machinery. They want to see that you're not just like following the rules, but that you're actively trying to create a safe work environment.
So it's more than just checking boxes on a safety checklist.
Way more.
Yeah.
Think about specific safety protocols that you've implemented or
Okay.
been involved with. Have you conducted training, developed or enforced safety procedures?
Right.
Or maybe you spotted a potential hazard and took action to fix it before something bad happened.
Yeah.
That's what they want to hear.
It's that kind of proactive mindset that really makes someone stand out, I think.
For sure. It shows you're not just thinking about your own safety, but about the well-being of everyone around you.
Okay, question 9. How do you ensure the sustainability of microelectronics manufacturing processes? Sustainability is a big deal everywhere these days.
Yeah, it is.
And it feels especially important in this industry, with all the energy and resources involved.
It's true. Making those complex devices can have an environmental impact.
Hmm.
They want to know that you're committed to minimizing that.
Okay.
So think about your experience with things like waste reduction, energy efficiency, maybe using eco-friendly materials.
Okay.
Have you implemented any specific initiatives to make those manufacturing processes more sustainable?
The RoleCatcher Guide really emphasizes this idea of continuous improvement in sustainability. What does that actually look like in practice?
It's not just about talking about what you've done, it's about what you're doing now.
Right.
And what you plan on doing in the future.
Right.
Maybe you're researching new materials.
Yeah.
Exploring new ways to use less energy. Or pushing for better industry-wide sustainability standards.
Right.
Show them you're not just following trends, you're actually setting them.
It's about taking ownership of the bigger picture and really thinking ahead.
Exactly. Sustainability is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
And they want someone who's in it for the long haul.
Okay. So let's shift gears for a minute.
Okay.
Let's talk about career paths. So you've aced the interview, you've got the job. What's next?
Right.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide, it paints a pretty exciting picture, I think. It's not just like climbing a ladder. There's so many different ways to grow in this field.
That's what makes it so awesome. You could move into leadership roles, managing teams and projects.
Yeah.
You could specialize in a particular area like automation or quality control.
Yeah.
Become a real expert, someone everyone wants to hire.
I was really surprised to see all the opportunities that exist outside of the factory floor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, your skills are transferable, right?
Totally.
You could move into research and development, product design, even technical sales or consulting.
It really depends on your interests and what kind of challenges you're looking for.
It seems like no matter what path you choose, continuous learning is key.
It's super important. This industry is constantly changing, so RoleCatcher recommends things like continuing education courses, conferences, getting involved in professional organizations.
Like IE or ITHIS, for example.
Exactly. Staying up to date through publications and online resources, just always expanding what you know.
It's, like you said, it's a journey. And the learning never really stops.
Right.
Which is what makes it so exciting, I think.
That's what makes it rewarding.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap things up, I want to mention another resource that RoleCatcher has that can help you really refine those interview skills.
You're talking about the Competency Interview Questions Directory.
Yes.
I've heard about that.
It covers a ton of skills and competencies that they look for in interviews, like problem solving, communication, teamwork, leadership.
Okay, so it's not just for microelectronics, smart manufacturing engineer roles then?
Nope, it's a great tool for anybody who's prepping for a job interview.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a fantastic way to practice answering those tricky behavioral questions and come up with really strong responses that showcase your skills and experience.
That's amazing. It sounds like RoleCatcher really has everything you need to succeed. But beyond the tools and resources, what are those personal qualities that really make someone successful in this role?
A genuine curiosity for how things work is essential.
Yeah.
And you've got to be adaptable, a quick learner, and a real team player.
Yeah.
This field is all about teamwork and pushing the limits of what's possible.
And maybe a little bit of that tinkerer spirit, always wanting to figure out how to make things better.
Absolutely. That drive to always be improving, that's what drives innovation in this field.
Okay. Now, we've covered a lot, but there's one crucial aspect of RoleCatcher we haven't talked about yet. The AI-powered feedback on your interview answers.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So it's not just about giving you sample questions and answers, right? It actually helps you tailor those answers to be the best they can be. So how does it work?
Imagine this. You've got a personal interview coach who knows exactly what the employers are looking for. RoleCatcher's AI analyzes your responses, but it does it in the context of the specific job you're going for, using those keywords that we've been talking about.
So I type in my answer and it gives me a grade.
It's a lot more sophisticated than that.
Oh, okay.
It tells you what you're doing well. It suggests what you could improve.
Okay.
It even helps you tweak your tone to sound more confident and enthusiastic.
Wow. That's like having a secret weapon.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
helps you put your best foot forward
Yeah.
and make a great impression.
Now, I know we've focused a lot on the interview itself, but I want to talk about what it's actually like to work in this field.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because landing the job is just the first step.
Right.
It's about actually being happy and successful in that role.
Mm-hmm.
So what were some things that surprised you when you first started working in microelectronics smart manufacturing?
I think for me, it was just how fast everything changes.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving, which can be a little overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's also really exciting. You're always learning.
Yeah.
You're always pushing the limits.
And what about the work itself?
Yeah.
What does a typical day look like for someone in this role?
You know, there really isn't a typical day in this job.
Oh, okay.
One day, you could be troubleshooting a really complex problem on the production line.
Mm-hmm.
The next, you're collaborating with design engineers on a brand new product.
Oh, wow.
You might be analyzing data to figure out how to optimize processes, or even training your team members on new equipment.
It sounds like you have to be really flexible and a great problem solver.
For sure. You need to be okay with things changing, be able to think on your feet,
Yeah.
and always be ready to learn something new.
Mm.
But that's what makes it so rewarding. You're always challenged, you're always growing, and you're really making a difference in the world. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to touch on one more thing that people often don't think about, and that's networking.
Networking. So it's not just about what you know, it's about who you know, too.
It's not just about WHO. It's about making those connections and really getting to know other people in the field, going to industry events, joining those professional organizations, even just participating in online communities.
Mm.
That can all open doors to opportunities you wouldn't even imagine.
So it's about putting yourself out there, making those connections, and just being open to new possibilities.
Exactly. You never know where those connections will lead.
Right.
You might find a mentor, a future collaborator, or even your dream job. Now, I know we've given you a lot to think about today, but before we let you go, I want to leave you with this. Remember that an interview is a two-way street.
So it's not just about impressing them, it's about me making sure it's the right fit for me, too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Use the interview as a chance to see what the company's culture is like,
Right.
how the team works together, if it's really a place where you see yourself being happy. Don't be afraid to ask questions and really get a feel for what it would be like to work there.
It's a good reminder that I have a choice, too. I'm not just applying for a job.
Right.
I'm looking for a place where I can learn and grow and really contribute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes all the preparation worth it.
Mm-hmm.
When you find that right fit, it's not just a job. It's the start of a really fulfilling and exciting career.
So we've explored the role, we've tackled those tough interview questions, and we've even gotten a glimpse of what a career in this field could look like. But before we send you off to conquer that interview, let's bring it back to you, listener.
We've talked a lot about technical skills and experience, but what about those things you can't really put on a resume? What are those personal qualities that make someone really great in this role?
Yeah, those things that don't always show up on paper, like the passion, the drive, I don't know, maybe a little bit of that mad scientist spark.
I love that. It's about that natural curiosity, that desire to really understand how things work, and the willingness to push the limits. Remember, this field is always changing, so you've got to be adaptable and a fast learner.
And we can't forget about teamwork. We've talked a lot about collaboration throughout this whole deep dive.
Absolutely. This field is all about working together, being able to communicate clearly, share your ideas, and work towards a shared goal. That's essential.
This has been such a great deep dive. I feel like I've not only learned a ton about the role,
Yeah.
but I'm also really excited about the possibilities in this field.
That's what we were hoping for. Listener, remember, you've got this. Go into that interview with confidence. Show them your skills, your passion, and what makes you unique.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way.
Yeah.
From building a killer resume to perfecting those interview answers. Explore their platform, use those amazing AI tools, and most importantly, believe in yourself.
We're rooting for you. Good luck.
And that's a wrap for our deep dive into the world of microelectronics smart manufacturing engineering. We hope you found it helpful and that it gives you the edge you need to land that dream job. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. So we've explored the role, tackled those tough interview questions, and even peeked into what a career in this field could look like. But before we send you off to conquer that interview, let's bring it back to you, listener.
We've talked a lot about technical skills and experience.
Yeah.
But what about those things you can't really put on a resume?
Right.
What personal qualities make someone really great in this role?
It's those things that don't always show up on paper.
Right.
The passion, the drive, I don't know, maybe a little bit of that mad scientist spark.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about that natural curiosity,
Yeah.
that desire to really understand how things work,
Yeah.
and the willingness to push the limits. This field is always changing, so you got to be adaptable and a fast learner.
And we can't forget about teamwork.
Of course not.
We've talked a lot about collaboration throughout this whole deep dive.
Absolutely. This field is all about working together, being able to communicate clearly, share your ideas, and work towards a shared goal. That's essential.
This has been such a great deep dive.
Yeah.
I feel like I've not only learned a ton about the role, but I'm also really excited about the possibilities in this field.
That's what we were hoping for. Listener, remember, you've got this. Go into that interview with confidence. Show them your skills, your passion, and what makes you unique.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way.
Yeah.
From building a killer resume to perfecting those interview answers. Explore their platform, use those amazing AI tools, and most importantly, believe in yourself.
We're rooting for you. Good luck.
And that's a wrap for our deep dive into the world of microelectronics, smart manufacturing engineering. We hope you found it helpful and that it gives you the edge you need to land that dream job. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.